A guy told me my first ever private dinner. He's like, you know how excited I am for this, and I'm like, we've never had my food. He's like, you know why? And I'm like, why? He goes, you can never trust a skinny chef, and I'm like, amen, brother.
Hey,
Dab.
there you go. There you go. That's how you know. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Backrow Boys. It's your host, Ebby Matthew. Obviously, our boy Stan is not with us right now, and our boy Chris, the Backrow Boy legends, are not here with us. But I got someone even better, even special. We got a guest of the show, a friend, family member. We got Sam Saji, Mr. Sam Soul himself, on the show. Bro, what is up? And I'm so happy they're here with us right now.
Oh, thank you. What an intro. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a dream of mine to be on
Dude, hey,
Backrow Boys.
hey, what we do here at the Back Row Boy Nation is we make dreams come true.
Yes, sir. Ending off 2022 well. I like it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And for everyone out there, Sam and I go way back. We've known each other for almost 15 plus years. So we're just gonna get into a great conversation, just get into some topics and then go from there. And guys, continue to like, subscribe, and just share these videos. And if you're not already, linked on the social media accounts, hey, jump on them. It's always fun clips, always good times that will make your week. But man, Sam, how's your week going? You busy? Like, how's your holiday?
Uh,
Busy?
Holidays have been pretty chill, not doing any events for Sam Soul stuff. So,
Gotcha.
and then work has been pretty relaxing. So it's been a good time spending time with family, and the cold sucks, but kind of just get over it.
Dude, and that's the one thing about Dallas, man. It's like I feel like growing up in the Lone Star State, it's like when we get winter, it's like it just feels like it's like a different beast,
It's
right?
harsh, man. It's
Right,
harsh.
bro.
It's not like even though it's cold, it didn't feel like Christmas. It just
Right.
felt terrible. Like it just felt terrible outside. Like,
I'm just like,
not a
how do
fan.
you like deal with this weather all the time? So
Yeah, I wish it snowed at least. I mean, like it's
yeah,
okay that like, at least you get to see something. But no,
exactly.
this winter sucked. Yeah.
Yeah. So do
How
you guys
about
have like family traditions during this time?
family tradition? No, not much. It's ever since we had my nephew, we like seeing him open gifts,
Oh yeah.
and like it could be anything. Like he opened a football and then a banana, and he was losing his mind. So like like it's just like it's so fun to watch that. But no traditions, not much. We just do dinner,
Okay.
or it's just a hustle after church because we got to go up
Okay.
early for church,
Yeah.
and then like after that, whatever else happens, and then you got to get a dinner or lunch. So it's a
Oh man,
hustle, but it's good. It was a good Christmas. How
that's
about
good.
yours?
It was good, man. It was good. Just spending time with family and just spending time with just friends a little bit here and there. But like, yeah, man, it's been a crazy time. I think the weather kind of holds people inside and just like it's a nice time to
Yeah,
have some hot chocolate and just hang out
yeah.
with them and whatnot. But
How's the Mavs game?
bro, it was so much fun, man. Like, because me and Toby, our seats were right in front of LeBron.
Yeah, I saw.
It was insane. I was like, man, this guy is still at what 39, 40, whatever age he is at
Yeah,
now. Man, like this dude is still hooping. He's still kind of, but our boy Luke and the Mavs,
he is there. He
they
is there.
rallied. So
Yeah, I thought LeBron was averaging 30 the last like 6 or 7 games. I'm like, or over 30. I'm like, that's crazy at that age to continually be that consistently good. Like,
oh,
but what about his lies though? Can we
dude,
talk about that for a second?
we got to talk about it, man. Le Cap,
Le
right?
Cap, Le Cap. Oh my God. Which was your favorite one? Which was your favorite lie?
Dude, I mean, it's I think the ones that started the whole thing, the whole like music stuff. It's like the lyrics
Yeah,
like, being off of
yeah.
that. But I
The
mean,
takeoff thing.
well, look, could you explain to the audience, like, kind of like, or the viewers right now, like, what
Yeah,
exactly?
yeah. So I'll send a video for reference so they can
There you
post it. But there's been a lot of footages of LeBron over the years, not just recently, but like the last decade probably, of him just saying the most absurd things just to kind of fit in or just show the camera. Like there's ones where he's reading books and
Yeah.
they ask him, what the book's about, and he's like always on the first page, and he's always
Yeah,
like,
he's always.
"Oh, the author is a smart man," or like there's one he owns an FC club in the
Yeah.
Premier League, and
Mhm.
they're like, "Who's your favorite player?" Like on the team that he partially owns,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Oh, I love everybody. I love them all."
I love them all.
And then
Not
there's like, "Who's your favorite soccer player?" And he's like, "Ronaldo." That
it's
guy,
like,
Neymar. Like it's just a cap, man. I love it. I love seeing it. It's so
oh
funny.
man.
It's crazy, man. His legacy is so great. The
Yeah.
only thing people can bash on him is like the small little white lies he tells once in
And
a while.
isn't it crazy? I feel like a lot of times he may say those things just to kind of like, like show his social followers or just like the media like a certain like portrayal of who he wants to be in a sense. But
Yeah,
I guess behind the cameras, it's like, yeah, I don't really care about that
yeah.
thing.
Like
So,
who? No one needs him to be that, but he's still the goat to me. He's still probably one of the best athletes.
bro.
to ever play any sport. It's insane.
Well, the cool thing like about that game too is like we got to see Dirk Nowitzki's like statue being revealed.
Oh yes. Okay,
Dude,
that is a top five, top one
yeah,
statue for an athlete I've ever seen.
it,
That's amazing.
it was
I'm
amazing.
glad they got rid of the weird little rings,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
uh, beads, as the Twitter sphere called it.
Dude, and it's crazy because me and Toby were at the Jersey, what is it, Jersey retirement
Retirement.
and our game as well, and we saw the statue preview. We're like, are we really going with this design? Is this like for real, for real? But I think it may have been like one of those things they kind of put it out there for the Twitter
Yeah,
to kind of talk about. So
I'm kind of glad that Mark Cuban listens to people on Twitter, because like there's been a lot of changes this season
yeah,
because of that, and I'm glad that they fixed the statue. And did you see the inscription?
yeah,
Loyalty never.
dude. Oh, they
That
never
is cold. That
clever,
is
man.
that is apparently Dirk picked that. So I
Oh,
saw
did you?
some tweets that Dirk got to pick what went on his inscription, and he picked that. If that's true, if Dirk picked that, that is the coolest thing to cement his legacy. That is so cool. But yeah, that's a cool tradition though. If you guys get to go to Christmas games
Yeah,
that
and
could
it's
be a
crazy. I think this was my first Christmas game for sure. And I always like to go to like the big like highlights like of Dirk's because like for me,
yeah.
we got to see his last game, Jersey retirement. We saw the street go up and stuff like that. And it was just like, man, like we actually got to see a lot of these moments. And so it was weird because right after we took a picture with the statue and just like looked at it for a while, we walked over to Hero Bar just to grab a drink really quickly. And we were like, man, this place is so crowded. Like, but then again, that bar is like 26,000 square.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we'll just go to the other side. So we start walking to the back and we get stopped by the bouncers or whatever. We're like, guys, you can't go past this line because it's like a private event. We're like, what are you talking about? Is like Dirk here or something? He goes, yeah, Dirk's actually standing right there. My bad. I'm so sorry. Like it's Dirk Nowitzki right there. I was like, oh my
I'll
God.
leave. I'll leave
Like,
Dallas.
sorry. I'm gonna kick myself out.
No, that's crazy. I saw me and Joby saw Maxi
Oh,
Kleba at Hero, and this was like maybe right after his like first season, and he had like zero fans. And like, but me and Joey saw him at a preseason game, and he was going off, and we're like, "Who is this good new guy? He's so handsome, he's so good." And
yeah,
we're like, "Yeah, let's go Kleba." So when we saw him at Hero, we like ran up to him. I'm like, "Maxi," we're like, "We're your biggest fans," and he just had the
yeah.
most shocked face that he
Wow.
had fans to begin with, and he's like, really? He's like, yeah. Like, can I take a selfie with you? He's like, of course. He's like, no one ever asked me.
No one ever asks these questions. Yeah, of course.
No, but no, I'm glad. Hero, I guess Hero Bar is a good luck
And I
place.
mean, it's one of those things. I mean, Dirk getting a statue, it's well deserved, well earned. I mean, like it's one of those things. Like it was bound to happen. And even like his post interview, he was just like, yeah, it was gonna happen. It's just crazy to see it. And I mean, loyalty,
Yeah.
bro. And that's where we come back to because I mean, for all the viewers out there, Sam and I known each other through the church for a long time. Our families knew each other, and we still keep in touch with our siblings. All know each other and whatnot. But like, yeah, man, like obviously, like I said, you and I go way back. But like, I've always known you to be, in a sense, like a foodie person that's like really good at cooking. But like, where did this whole Sam Soul thing really start? Like, was it like a passion from like? I mean, obviously, we can say maybe from mom and dad.
So yeah, so I mean, I've always cooked. I mean, not probably at the level that I'm at right now. Like I've just this year has been really blessed. Like I had so much time to just work on my craft and especially serve other people, and people are paying me to make them food, which is like a whole other level of a hobby taken to a side business.
Right.
So that was like a huge transition for me. But I guess it just started. Yeah, like my mom, like Indian food is really hard to make. There's a lot of steps to it. So even from like when I was a kid, like I was always cutting onions and cutting ginger and doing stirring. Even you got to stir or it's gonna burn, right? So like I
Right.
was always in the kitchen with my mom and my dad. So I always had that affinity to the kitchen. I had no problems with it. Like that was like the one chore that I didn't mind doing,
Mhm.
right? So like from there during the pandemic, we really didn't see anybody. So I just had so much time just to mess around. So I made like ginger beer and I made
Okay.
pickles. So I was like like science experiments almost. And then like we would have like one family over, like Mervin's family over, like every other week or so. Like and that's the only family we would see, right? So
Yeah.
like every week I was like trying something new, cooking something new, and then I would be posting it on my IG, and people were like, dude, like you gotta like sell this, you gotta do something. I'm like, and I was like, at a point, I'm just like, nah, it's cool. Like I'm not that good or whatever, like whatever. And it was just getting so annoying to the point that everyone's like, do something, cook me something, cook me something. I'm like, you know what, I'll do this page, and like
Yeah.
even from the start, like I had no idea what to expect, what it was gonna be. I wanted to do travel and cooking because I travel a decent amount. I love to travel too. And I don't know, I'm just even now I'm just like I don't know what the future of it is. I don't know where it's gonna go, but I just kind of want like a huge, not huge, but like I just want a good community. It's more
Yeah.
about quality than quantity to me. Where if I
Right.
have an event or if I have something, people are willing to show up, and
Right.
people are willing to support, and like we can together we can do something good. Like with the merch, we sold merch in November, and we made over almost $1,000 for charity,
There you
which
go.
is like huge to me because like it wasn't just the fact that we did this for charity and we're helping people in the Dallas community, but also the fact that 70 people liked my content or liked my idea enough to partake and buy a clothes that they would wear on a regular basis or whatnot, right? So like that was huge to me. And like I don't know where it's gonna go. We have a lot of ideas for the like I have a team that helps me and like I have
Right.
guys that help me with my cook. So I do private dinners now, which is I just started like a month ago. That's been really fun. It's been hard. Like it's been
Right.
hard to transition from, easy just making content to cooking
Right.
8 courses, So it's been fun, man. It's been a crazy journey. Like I just
Yeah.
can't believe where it has been, but it's been fun. So thank you. So thankful for all the support. And it's
Yep.
like mainly Malu people in the Dallas area, and then
Mm.
slowly expanding. And all those people, like, thank you so much for the content. And I try to serve them too. Like I made porota and beef and things
Yeah.
like that. And those videos, like they love those videos. I put like Malayalam songs and they love that stuff. So
Yeah.
like I love doing that. Like I don't care about the TikTok trends and putting whatever new rap song. Like, I would rather have, 100 people say this is the thing that I like,
Yeah.
instead of like 1,000 random people.
Right. And I think that's the biggest thing because, like, I mean, that's the great thing about our community that they're always like supporting us to do different things and venture out. Because I think for a long time, which is not the terrible thing what I'm about to say, but like our parents have kind of kept us in like a certain box. But now it's
Yeah.
we have more knowledge. We're actually in the world
Mhm.
where it's, you know what, like I'm doing my thing. I've kind of listened to my parents. I kind of want to go outside that box and see what else out there. So that's why I give it to you, man. Sam So is a hit, bro. And I've
Thank you,
actually
man.
heard from the older crowd, the younger crowd, they're like they're loving the videos, they're loving the content. But I wanted to ask you, like, where do you get that inspiration? Like, how do you know which food to put as content, or is it just like the meal that you're making that week or something like that?
For what I want to cook, I'm just literally crossing off a list. Like, what haven't I made yet, or what haven't I made a content of yet? Like it's cool for me because I'm challenged because I get to do new things, try new things. Like I made baklava for Christmas,
Oh,
and
nice.
like that was one of the hardest things I've ever made in my life. It's a lot of work, and like now, if I go into a Middle Eastern bakery or whatever, and it says $4.50 for one baklava, I'll pay it. I'm more
Yeah,
than gladly pay it because
yeah,
good God, that is a lot. Like whatever cheese back there layering all those dough, like it is work, man. So I that's kind of like my idea for content is just trying new things. But my biggest inspirations are even like YouTubers. Like there's a guy called Andrew Rea or Binging with Babish. I've
mm,
been watching him since I was like 17, 18 years old. Just other TikTokers, content makers. Like it's cool to see, man, like what they do, and like I've seen people create communities out of that, and like that's kind of just what I want to emulate. Just kind of good vibes, just all around, just do good things for the community. And like as people are like, why'd you, how much money did you make off your merch? And I'm like, zero. Like I probably
zero.
lost money. I probably lost money. Like they're like, why? Like why aren't you? I'm like, that I have a job. I have a full-time job that pays me decent. If you're not giving a decent amount of money for good causes and doing good things,
Mm,
it's gonna bite you in the butt, man. Like it's gonna come around. God's gonna, God says 10%, 10% is great.
yeah,
If you can meet that, that's great. And I think I urge anyone in the adult living time when you're making money and living life, that's awesome. But give. You
yeah.
got to give once in a while. So like that's like these are like small lessons I've been learning because like I don't know. Tomorrow maybe my alternator doesn't work on my car because I didn't give enough. Right? Like it's like that's how it goes. When you're
Yeah.
blessed, you gotta give bless others too.
True, bro. It's so true, man. I mean, the more we're getting blessed, we got to bless others for sure. And
Yeah.
like, so, and I know you said like giving is like a big part of your business, your content, and also who you are. But like, where did that originally start from? Is that something that you saw from your parents, or maybe like you mentioned God and stuff like? Does that come from your
Yeah.
faith and stuff like
Yeah,
that?
but yeah, faith is huge. I mean, I grew up in Saudi Arabia. I was born and raised there. I moved here when I was about 8. So
Mm,
like we came from a country that persecuted Christians to a country where it's accepted, and we
right.
were finally part of a church, and my parents got us involved. That's how I met you. I
Yeah.
met you through basketball, through a C team. You would help us do drills and stuff, and I sucked at basketball, but you guys were so nice. I just wanted to take a moment to say like Ebby is, he's like the older Chachin for me, but like still like I can tell him anything and I can be as open as I can with him because the relationship that he built with me and like the people my age, like the Remy boys, as we call them, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, because out of all the older people, like, there's Tony and like guys like them, but like Abby was always like, "Hey, we're going here this Friday night. Come out. We're going here." Like for an older chachi to like invite you to stuff like that, dude, you
Mm.
made our social life so much more fun just because you and Toby are so inviting, and like it hoops on Metro 9 a.m. come through like
Yeah,
even small stuff like that. You guys have really been good friends, good brothers, and like it sucks that we don't see each other like every Sunday. Like I don't even get to go to church every Sunday, but like it's
yeah.
we're not as close because of all the events that we use. But like it's like every time I do see you guys, it's just like such a good vibe. Like there's never no problems. It's just great.
Right.
Yeah,
No,
but
and we well, first and foremost, I appreciate you saying that because obviously, me and Toby, we had a lot of help growing up too. Like we had the older guys that did the same thing for us because they were always like, hey, come out over here or go hoop, let's go hoop over here, let's go out of town over here. Like, and we're just like mesmerized. We're just like, wow, like it was unbelievable. And I remember like and shout out to Upper Wilson because I asked him when I was like maybe like a little bit younger than you, and I was like, hey, how can I pay you back? Like you've taken care of me so much and stuff. He
mm,
said pass it forward. And so that's what I
yeah,
always believed in. And I feel like you're now in that position of passing it forward where you're helping the younger guys at the church groups out. And so you're helping
yeah,
the next generation of the youth league. Because the one cool thing about you boys, like, and we're mentioning the Remy boys. If you don't know who the Remy boys are, it's Sam, Saji, Mervin, Joby, Josh, and Ebby. There's another Ebby. He's not legit or original like that, but
two Blue Cross Ebbies, two Blue Cross Ebbies.
yeah, one time two Eddie Matthews at Blue Cross. Like it's you can't write this stuff. But no, I mean you boys have really taken it to the next level and really taken care of the younger, guys and girls at church and stuff like that. And like, I mean, let's talk about that a little bit. Like how's it
Yeah.
going on
So
with you?
that's kind of like the church is kind of like the main thing because like it was so crazy, like
Mhm.
going to a schedule of going to church every Sunday, English service. That was so new to me.
Okay.
Like I was like, wow, right? Like I can understand what's going on.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. Like praise and worship, like all these things. So church is a huge part of my life. And then even my parents, like when we go back to India, they give so much. And like I'm just like, do we got that? like are we good? Can we fly back? Like like because like that's just like the way they grew up, and like it just always instills in me like $1 is 80 rupees, which is like decent money, right? Like
Yeah.
so like $100 in India goes a long way.
Oh
So
yeah.
like when I see my parents do these things, like it didn't even make me want to be like, oh, I want to get a great job that pays me good money. Like I want to be like them or I'm
Yeah.
giving to communities because like you can see how your money is like changing lives
Right.
compared to just you texting $5 or Venmoing $5 like whatever other big organization, like you can see it. So like I've always wanted, and then when I was in youth fellowship, like leadership, like I was working with Joby, and I'm like, hey, like we got to make it like a mission to like give,
Right.
because like we collect all this money, we go to tournament, like that's great, all these things are great, but like what are we doing as a youth fellowship to
Mm-hmm.
like help people, across the world? So like that's kind of where my like goal of like giving money has come, or like charity and like doing
Yeah.
good deeds has come from, because like I don't know, just it's an important part of my life, and like I took a couple like nonprofit classes when I was in college. Like I get to pick whatever class I want. I'm like, I'll do this one. I thought it
Right.
was gonna be an easy class. It was actually pretty hard. But like I just learned about like how wage disparity and
Yeah.
how people go home and there's no food at home for their kids, and like there's so many things in this world that we can actually make a direct change to. And like now that I have somewhat of a small platform, I really do want to use that and make a mission to kind of help the community.
And I think that's a huge thing for us too, like people who have these platforms. And if it's small or big, I think us as like, our community, brown people, Indian people, in that whole sector of
Mhm.
people, it's like we all have to reach out to each other and help each
Yeah,
other. Because I mean,
and
if you do well, I do well. If I do well, you do well. And it just keeps spreading that way, man. So
yeah, and like our church is really good at spreading information, like too good at it. Like there's bad things about it,
oh
but there's
yeah.
also like good things, because like if someone's sick at church, they do a chain of prayer call, right? And they do like 4 days straight where someone prays, calls the next dude, he prays, calls the next dude, and that goes on for days.
Right.
Like that is powerful. That is amazing. Like I've never seen that kind of like community till I really got here. Like
Right.
dang, there's 3 days. Like even for New Year's, people are gonna be praying for 2 days straight.
Mhm.
Like that stuff is like I've always seen that community that Malus have. It's we talk a lot of crap. We do a lot of gossiping, but at the same time, like if you need something, that the community will get you. Your
Oh,
church,
mhm.
your Carol, whatever it is, like they will pray for you. They will help you pay for whatever. Like they're there, and like not a lot of people realize that. So I kind of just want to emulate everything that's happened in my life and
Mhm.
kind of put that towards Sam Soul. That's why I just kept it Sam Soul, not Sam Eats or Sam Cooks, because I
Yeah.
don't know what to do. I just wanted to kind of be diverse. I do
Yeah.
eat though. I do eat a lot.
Hey, but that's how you know what the best foods are. There you go. So
Yeah. Hey, a guy told me my first ever private dinner. He's like, you know how excited I am for this, and I'm like, we've never had my food. He's like, you know why? And I'm like, why? He goes, you can never trust a skinny chef. And I'm like, amen, brother.
hey,
Dad.
there you go. There you go. That's how you know. Yeah. So you mentioned a little bit about, just like cooking. You love food, you're a foodie, you travel. Because even I've seen your travel vlogs and stuff too. Like you're in the city, you're like trying to explore, trying to venture out
Mhm.
and try different things. But like you know how like basketball players, NFL players, they have like their practice drills and their shoot around and whatnot. Like how do you get into like I guess cooking mode, or how does that, is there a practice? Is there somebody that you follow on YouTube or just people in
Yeah.
general?
So like I said, binging with Babish is huge. Joshua Wiseman, that's another big one. And then like there's test kitchens like American Test
Oh,
Kitchen, Bon Appetit. So those guys are really good because they try multiple different variations and see what works and what doesn't work or what combinations work.
right.
So but for like a mode of cooking, like one thing is I will tell everyone is if you want to get into cooking and you want to cook good food, it's time.
Mhm.
Set yourself a day, or an afternoon where you have a couple hours where you're not being rushed. You don't have anything to do afterwards. You have time to clean up, right? Because when people get rushed, they miss ingredients, they miss steps, and the food isn't as good. And then they're like, I'm never cooking again. That's usually how a first timers experience goes. But
Right.
I'm telling you, if you make yourself 3 4 hours and you're gonna say, I'm gonna do this, measure out your ingredients, cut everything first, have order and peace, that's like the best way to cook.
Yeah.
And for me, like that's not the same when I do private dinners. Obviously, that's chaotic, hectic, it's messy. But like if I'm just cooking a meal or making, even when I make content, it's very quiet. I try to find time when my parents aren't home,
Yeah.
and then I
There
try
you
to
go.
cook. But like, yeah, it's just like a peace of mind, having everything ready, and making sure I have time to do this. That's like the biggest thing of cooking for me.
So the minute reels that we see on Instagram, it's not really a minute long. It's like a
Oh,
day.
it is. Yeah, it takes forever. Yeah. If I just kept it unedited, it would be like, 34, 40 minutes probably. Yeah. So,
Yeah. So I know you mentioned earlier, so you kind of, you've been cooking for a long time, but COVID and the pandemic is when you really started kind of like coming, because you
mhm.
said you're home, you're with your family,
Yeah.
some of your like Mervin's family and whatnot. So you're with those guys and you're just kind of like practicing in a lot of ways. So like,
Yeah. I just had free time. That was the
yeah,
biggest thing. Right? School was online
yeah.
and I wasn't working. So I had like 6 hours to make up.
And it's crazy because some people they in a sense, I'm not saying you didn't have your ups and downs during the pandemic, but
hmm
like it looks like for you, it's like something good kind of came out of it. And for me,
hmm
and some people, as our viewers may know, like as I've gotten into real estate, like that really started because of the pandemic, because I had so much time to kind of like, you know what, let me just try something new. So like,
hmm
and we've asked our guests in the past too, like, in these times where, you have a certain type of creativity, like, what do you tell people that, hey, if you have a type of thing, like, get into, like, how would you tell someone, like,
Yeah.
encourage someone in that sense?
I think it's weird how we grow up because, like, from birth, you're like, go to school, elementary school, and you go to
Mm.
middle school. And then, if you're Indian, your parents saying, go to med school, go to master's
Yeah.
school, right? So, like, you're always being told to do something, right? On behalf of someone else, your parents, most likely, right? Until you graduate college, you're literally someone else is talking in your ear. But once you graduate, once you start working, you're like adulting, you're like, I'm paying my own bills, not the person that was talking to me, right?
Right.
I'm doing my own thing now. So like, I think my like biggest advice is ask yourself what you want for
Yeah.
once in your life. That was like the first time I was like close to graduate. I'm like, what am I gonna do with my life? Am I just gonna work and climb a corporate ladder, or work? I work in private debt. Like, am I just gonna help debt? Like, like what am I gonna do in my life? Like, and like I just had like a clear realization, like this is not what I want. I want to be my own boss. I kind of want to get out of this world of Monday through Friday 9 to 5. Like, and I'm not even there yet. That's like what I'm hoping for, right? So like I finally asked myself, like, my mom and dad are telling me to anything. They're telling me to get an MBA and get married, but we're pushing
That's
that
not
right
the
now,
easy
right?
part. Yeah.
Yeah, that's nothing. That's every week. But like I finally asked myself, like, what do I want? What makes me happy? And one thing that makes me happy is food, because like, and not just for me, like when I cook for someone and they eat it and they're like, wow, this is good. Like I love that. Like I love their reaction to that, because that's what food is. Food's a love language. It's how cultures are spread. It's how many people, like, it's crazy to me. Like we have H Mart,
Mhm.
we have Indian stores, and it's not just Indian people and Koreans shopping at these stores. It's everyone, right? It's like all
Right.
races, and that's because of food. Food is culture, and
Mhm.
culture is now everywhere, right? Like that culture is spreading out. So I would ask yourself, if you have a passion for something else that's not Excel or whatever else application you use at work, then ask yourself, do you want to do more of that? Do you want to create more time during the week to do that?
Right.
And as an adult, yeah, work is busy, your social life is busy, but you can always make time for something that you love. And that's how you get started. So that's my small advice, I guess.
And it's not it's I mean honestly, man, that's gonna impact a lot of our viewers because like even if you have a small little passion, like run after it because you would never know what can turn to. Because I mean, look with Sam Soul. Like I mean, it started off and it's still growing and growing. And even you've said it just earlier in this pod is that you don't even know where this is gonna go, but
Yeah.
you're taking steps daily towards that ultimate goal.
Hmm. And like even my goal is like I don't like the whole social media part. Like it's like I mean when I say I don't like the whole posting weekly and
Yeah,
like the scheduling part. Like and even editing, I hate that part. I love cooking, so I
yeah,
do want to bring more people in that's good at this stuff, that's good at social media, that's good at editing, and like I want to be get good enough to get there, where those people are doing their passion and I can just cook, and then
yeah,
they can make whatever out of that. So like that's like a real goal that I would love to have, but
right.
it's just all about making time for yourself. It's tough to you got to make decisions. Are you like, do I want to go hoop for the eighth time this week at
Yeah,
24, or do I want to do something that I like? Like
yeah.
that's what. Yeah, so I don't know. It's priorities, man.
Yeah,
Adulting's
it's
tough,
true, man.
but
And you mentioned a little bit about like, you because I'm the same way, man. Like the social media part sometimes like difficult for me because I'm just like, okay, I got to post for the real estate thing, I got to post for the back road thing. But so I know you're kind of working with a small team. I know Monica is part of your team where she's helped
correct. Yeah.
actually BRB in a lot of ways too with logos and like ideas.
Hmm.
So big shout out to Monica. But wanted to get you to talk about a little about your team. Like,
Yeah.
where did you meet Monica? Where did you meet the other ones on your team that's helping you
Yeah,
out?
yeah. So for my cooking team, I call them the Sam Sue, sous
Nice.
chefs. I
Yeah.
got a couple guys from church like Chachu, Aaron, Andrew. Andrew's really good because he worked at McDonald's with his dad because his dad owns
Oh
McDonald's.
yeah, that's right.
So
Yeah.
like he has that mentality. He has that listen to orders kind of thing. So I like that. And a couple more guys like Matthew and Levin. Now he's on the team. So like those guys, they just told me, hey, like they would like to help. I'm like, and for me, for those guys, it's like I want you guys to learn. I want you guys to learn how to cook. It's not just me barking orders at you. Like I
Yeah.
want you guys to enjoy the experience. Like even when we did the dinners, I was like, have fun. Like you're here, have fun. Like what do if they ask you something, if they talk about your life, like that's it's a party.
Yeah.
So that's how that kind of happened in that Sam Sue things like, people that had interest in food or interest in other things.
Right.
Um, my team, which is Monica, and then my friend Boney, he's like the CFO. All he does is just check our Excel sheets once in a while.
Tony.
Yeah. But Monica is so talented. She's very good at digital arts and digital media and social media. So, and I've known her since college, and she's helped our church with, like Snapchat filters
Oh,
and
there you go.
like VBS and retreat T-shirt ideas, stuff like that. Like, so she's always had this talent, like. And like I feel so like until I was making money, like she was doing all this stuff for free. So, like my
Right.
first dinner and stuff, I'm like, here's your paycheck. Like I cannot I like do not take advantage of your friends. First thing, if your friends helping you, do not take advantage of them, right? But like I was like, you got because you're part of my group. Like you're helping me. Like because of you, like my page is growing. Like your direct impact.
Right.
So like that's just kind of how the team happened. I'm always looking for more people, whoever's interested to join. So yeah, that's how that happened.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. And like, so yeah, I know because I did see some of your posts about like Andrew and Chachu and Boney, like kind of
Yeah.
doing like your private dinner events. Like,
Hmm.
talk about a little bit about the private events. Like, did you ever get nervous in the beginning, or what? Where did that idea kind of spark from?
Yeah. So my first one was Sergeant Judge's house. And so the day of, I was like working from home. So I was like prepping and working at the same time. So I was like
Right.
cooking stuff and I'll come back. And that day was so stressful to me because like I would make like things I can prep early, like sauces and things. I would try it. And I'm like, this does not taste good. I'm like,
Right.
holy crap. I'll try the next. I'm like, this does not taste good. I'm like, then Chachu came up to like meet me in my house. I'm like, hey, I put it in his mouth. I'm like, is this good? Is this good? Is this good? He's like, yeah, it's good. I'm like, I don't believe you. I'm like, that was too late. We gotta go. We gotta go.
Gotta go.
And like we get to the house and we get everything set up. And like I get the first dish out. And like they're like losing their minds.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, it's game time. Let's go. Let's go. And I'm like, wings are out. The short rib is out. Lobster curry's out. Like I
Yeah.
think that was like I just needed that positive kind of reinforcement that everything's gonna be okay. But like, yeah, I was that first cook, I was so nervous. And then my second cook at Tony's house, Tony, it was his anniversary.
Oh
He's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, he's like, oh, by the way, our actual anniversary dinner got canceled, so this is the only dinner we're having. And I'm like,
This is what we have.
I was like, really? 30 minutes, bro. You
Like
tell
no
me like
pressure.
now.
No. Yeah.
Tony's really good at that. But But yeah, man, it's always nerve wracking cooking for other people, especially when they're paying you because
Oh
you're
yeah.
now held to another standard, right? But at the end of the day, it's what I love to do, and like I can make food taste good. Like that's something I know I can do. So it's been fun. It's cool because I just get to learn so much, and I get to try so many new dishes. Like I've never cooked lobster before until my first private dinner. Like
Right.
that was fun. Like I made like other things it's like my first time.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I feel like with you guys, you and your team, it's the sky is the limit, and continue to like push for further. And like I know you said you don't know what tomorrow holds for your group, but like where do you want it to go in a sense? Like where would you want to see it?
For now, I definitely want to do just small events, like 20 people max kind of events.
Mhm.
Just kind of get better, expand my menu, my knowledge. But I mean, at the end of the day, I really do want to open a restaurant, like somewhere people can sit down and hang out.
Yeah.
And I really do want to highlight like our state in Kerala. I
Yeah.
really want to highlight the good like street foods that we have because I know people do it here, but it's like mass manufactured. It's made for catering. So
Right.
when you do things at higher quantities, your quality really just comes down, right? And I really just want to fix that. I want to bring food that is really good and just like a really chill vibe. So like I want to go to India and learn first how to make these things because
Yeah.
it's a totally different world of cooking.
Right.
So that's kind of like my if there's like a goal like that's like a big one is like to have a restaurant, make it a place for people to just relax and be comfortable and spend time with their friends. Because that's
Man.
kind of what India is. You're like if you go like walking around like, do these people not work? Like, what are they doing? They're just hanging out, drinking chai all day, and
Yeah.
eating porota all day. Like, that's a vibe, man. I like it. I dig it.
You know, funny thing, I bet you $5 they're thinking the same thing about us who work at home. It's like, wait, what are these guys doing all day? Like just drinking chai, like
eating
drinking coffee,
porota, eating frozen
watching
porota.
Netflix all day. Man, dude,
Yeah,
I mean
man.
that's a great dream to have, man. Like have a brick and mortar where you just bring people together. Because I can see that in you, man. That's your soul in a sense, where it's like you're bringing
Yeah.
it together with food as the main thing, but everything else is love and family. And man, if it's anyone I would put money on, it's you that you can make that happen, bro.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man. It's just I love Dallas. Like I love it's where I grew up. It
Yeah,
used to be pretty affordable. It's yeah, the realtor can tell you, right? But
yeah,
it's still such a great place to raise a family. And my church, Carrollton's like home. I grew up in Flower Mound, but like Carrollton was always home.
right.
And I love that about this metroplex, but like we seriously lack in culture.
Oh yeah.
Like a lot of the things we just do is drink and day drink and
Day drink
night
to
drink
eat.
and
Yeah.
afternoon drink, whatever, right? Like we're
Yeah.
just always like just partying and like that's fine. Like after like 25, you're just like, what am I doing? What am I doing here? But
Right.
like I want to change that because like if you go to Houston parties too, but like they have good food, man. They have
Yeah.
good cultural food. And like I really want to change Dallas's perspective on culture. And like
Right.
I think that a big goal of mine this like first quarter of the new year is to find like local shops and restaurants and like hidden gems and like highlight them on my IG page so other people can go check it out and talk about it. And like most times these are small businesses run by small families, and like to bring more people to more attraction and more business, like that'd be a secondary goal that to have, but that's kind of like my big steps taking forward.
Man, Sam, that's awesome, bro. Like, and I think like only good things are coming your way, and especially with Sam Soul and your team and everything like that. Well, Sam, I do want to get into this section where we ask our guests a few questions, a rapid fire question. Are you ready?
Yes,
I'm gonna ask you one more time. Are you ready now?
I'm ready.
Here we go now. All right, the first question. What is your favorite word?
Has to be flabbergasted. It is a
Ooh, that's a
good.
good
That's a
one.
good word. But what's another word I like? I don't know if you remember this, but you gave a message once at like a Bible study,
Uh-huh.
and you said the word plethora, and I was like, how the hell does Ebby know plethora? Like who? I was
I
like
was deep
so
in my
shocked.
dictionary that day.
I was so shocked. Or even the last podcast you guys did about Faith and Shy, like I was just listening on the drive.
Yeah.
You guys were getting so deep and saying so many like amazing intellectual things. It's like, am I listening to the right
Am I
podcast?
listening to the right guys? Is it the Front Boys?
I,
Is
was like,
it the Front Boys?
I had to check the video. I was like, is this like who is this?
Who
But
is
oh,
these
you
guys?
guys,
Who is these
yeah, but
theologists?
yeah, but Plethora is a close second just because
Hey,
of you.
nice, nice. Hey, shout out to that word, baby. Well, all right. So, question number two: what's your favorite sound or noise?
Favorite sound or noise? Okay, back in the day, you would put the CDs in to watch or cassette tapes to watch TVs, and there was this one production company called I think it's like THX. and it would start with this goes. It was like huge, like
Oh yeah.
bang. I don't know why
Yeah.
I knew that whatever movie was going to come on was going to hit. You know,
Is
it
that
was
a
going to slap.
vibe?
Yeah, so that's
I
my
do, man,
favorite
I do
song.
remember. That's a good one, actually. All right, okay, number three. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
I mean, as a profession right now, I'm an analyst for a hedge fund in Dallas, but I would definitely want to be a chef and have
Nice.
a restaurant. Yeah. If not, I don't know, like a farmer or a rancher, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah,
You know,
dude, that'd be dope. That'd be
that's
dope.
like I would love the simple life there. That'd be kind of cool.
I can see you on a farm. So just have
Yeah,
a bunch of acres. So
yeah. That's
all right. Final question. When you get to heaven and meet God, what would you like God to say to you?
I'm proud of you. Maybe that'd be
Oh,
good to
that's
hear from
deep.
God. That'd
Yeah.
be a great one to hear from God. I don't know. I would ask him if I did good. A huge thing to see what he says.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question.
There you go. There you go, bro. Well, I mean, you had it here, guys. To all the Backrow Boy viewers and listeners, thank you so much for joining. We have the one and only Sam Saji. Sam, so again, thank you for joining us. And Sam, tell the people out there, like, where can they find you, bro? Like, on what's your handle and all that stuff. Like, go ahead and tell them
Yeah.
what you got going on.
I'm mainly just on Instagram right now. Like I said, I'm still grasping at social media and how to, diversify my time. But it's mainly Instagram. You can follow me at Sam Soul DTX. It's SAMSSOUL DTX. You can find me there. I post reels once a week of new food that I make or even of the events that I do. If you're ever interested in hosting a party or a dinner party with 15 to 20 people max, message me on Instagram and we can get it started. And I want to let you know all my menus are custom to what the person wants or what kind of food they like. So whatever you guys want, I can make it work, and I'm more than willing to make it work. So yeah, hit me up. I'm ready to go.
You guys heard it here first. If you want a private dinner, what is it, 15 plus, 20 plus? Hey, Sam Soul's got you. Him and his team is going to come out there to your own place and customize these meals. So hit him up.
And we can leave before, and you can tell the people you made it.
Hey, there we go.
That's a
Exactly.
small that's side hustle right there.
It's a little side hustle. Exactly. Exactly. Man, dude, thank you so much. It's our honor to have your soul here, Sam. So I really appreciate that. Like I
Of
said,
course,
guys,
thank
go
you.
follow him on Instagram. Like, subscribe, share this video to your family and friends. Again, thank you so much for joining us. And everyone out there, continue to stay safe. Be safe, be careful, and have a great, happy new year. And thank you for always joining us in the back row.